Do you ever feel like you're fighting a losing battle against a world that just never stops? Like you're being pulled in a dozen different directions, your mind is racing, and your peace is constantly being shattered by noise? Well, there comes a moment when you realize you can stop fighting the world and start mastering the one inside you. The ancient Stoics knew this struggle. I mean, they were generals, senators, and even former slaves who had to navigate plagues, wars, and total political chaos. And through all of that, they discovered a secret. True freedom isn't about controlling the chaotic world around you. It's about mastering your inner world. They realized that calm isn't something you find, it's something you build. In this video, you'll learn the 7 daily habits they use to forge that unshakable calm and inner strength. These aren't just abstract ideas. They are practical tools you can use to reclaim your mind and fortify your inner citadel, starting today. The first and most fundamental habit is what the Stoics called prosoche, which is basically the practice of mindful awareness. It's the art of paying vigilant, moment-to-moment attention to your inner life, your thoughts, your judgments, and your actions. In a world of endless distraction, prosoche is the discipline of being truly present. It starts with something incredibly simple: your breath. Anchoring your awareness to the physical sensation of breathing can pull your mind out of anxious spirals about the future or regrets about the past. It just grounds you, right here and now. From there, you learn to observe your thoughts and emotions as they pop up, but without immediately judging or reacting to them. When you feel a flash of anger or a wave of anxiety, this practice creates a crucial space between that feeling and your response. The philosopher Epictetus taught the importance of guarding your mind. It's like you have a guard at the gates of your mind. Impressions come knocking, but you don't have to let every single one of them in. You can pause, look at the thought, and decide if it aligns with reason and your values. This isn't about suppressing emotion. It's about seeing it clearly, so you can choose a rational response instead of just being swept away. It's the difference between reacting blindly and responding wisely. The Stoics didn't see gratitude as just a warm, fuzzy feeling. They saw it as a rigorous mental discipline, a medicine for the soul. The Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius treated his mind like a garden. He knew that every day he had a choice. He could let the weeds of resentment, fear, and complaint grow, or he could deliberately plant seeds of gratitude. He wrote extensively about accepting what comes from the gods and nature as good. The idea is to convince yourself that everything can be viewed as a gift. This doesn't mean you deny reality or pretend that bad things don't happen. Instead, it means finding a way to be grateful even for the tough stuff. For the difficult client who teaches you patience. For the mistake that hands you a valuable lesson. For that unexpected delay that gives you a rare moment to just pause and reflect. The philosopher Seneca taught that real happiness comes from enjoying the present without being anxious about the future. He believed that if we're satisfied with what we have, which is sufficient, then we want for nothing. When you focus on what you have instead of what you lack, your entire perspective shifts. You stop being a victim of your circumstances and start seeing the blessings that are already right in front of you. This isn't naive optimism. It's a powerful tool for building resilience and appreciating the life you actually have. This next habit is the cornerstone of all Stoic practice. It's a principle so powerful it can literally change your life overnight. It's called the dichotomy of control. Epictetus, who was born a slave and rose to become one of Rome's most revered philosophers, put it as simply as it gets. Some things are up to us, and others are not. What's in our control? Our opinions, our choices, our desires, and our actions. And what's not in our control? Pretty much everything else: our bodies, our reputation, what other people think of us, the outcomes of our efforts. So much of our anxiety and frustration comes from one simple mistake. We pour our energy into trying to control things that are fundamentally uncontrollable. The daily habit here is to constantly ask yourself, is this really up to me? When you feel stress building, just pause and draw that line in the sand. Is your flight delayed? You can't control the weather, but you can control how you use that extra time. Did someone criticize you? You can't control their opinion, but you can control whether you let it define your self-worth. By focusing only on what you can influence, your effort, your attitude, your response, you stop wasting energy fighting reality. You become more effective, more resilient, and profoundly calmer, because your peace of mind is no longer tied to things that were never yours to command in the first place. This is where true freedom begins. What's your first instinct when you face a setback? A failed project, a rejection, an unexpected problem? For most of us, it's to feel defeated. But the Stoics practiced a radical mental flip. They trained themselves to see every obstacle not as a dead end, but as a new path. The philosopher-emperor Marcus Aurelius captured this idea perfectly. He believed that the very thing that stands in our way can become our path forward. This is one of the most transformative mindsets you can adopt. It means every challenge life throws at you is a hidden opportunity to practice a virtue. That difficult person gives you a chance to practice patience. An unfair situation is a chance to practice courage and justice. A sudden loss is a chance to practice resilience. Seneca taught that challenges aren't meant to be avoided, but embraced as opportunities for growth. He believed that difficulties strengthen the mind, much like labor strengthens the body. This doesn't mean you have to enjoy hardship, but it does mean you can choose to see it as a training ground. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" the Stoic asks, "How can I use this?" This one little shift in perspective moves you from a place of passive victimhood to one of active strength. The obstacle is no longer something that stops you, it's the very thing that forges you. Now let's get back to the habits. One of the most powerful books in philosophy, Meditations, was almost certainly never meant to be a book at all. It was the private journal of Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man on earth, writing to himself to make sense of his day and hold himself to a higher standard. This reveals a core Stoic habit, daily self-reflection. This practice doesn't have to be some grand, complicated ritual. Seneca would review his day each evening, asking himself questions like, what fault did I resist today? Where did I go wrong? In what way am I a better person? You can do the same. Before you go to sleep, just take 5 minutes and jot down your thoughts. What went well today? What challenges did you face, and how did you handle them? Where did you let your emotions get the better of you? Where did you act in line with your values? The simple act of writing this down brings incredible clarity. You start seeing patterns in your behavior that are invisible in the day-to-day rush. You see what triggers your stress and what truly brings you peace. By reviewing your actions, you turn raw experience into wisdom. You learn from your mistakes instead of just repeating them, and you reinforce your successes, building momentum toward becoming the calm, resilient person you want to be. There's a common myth about Stoicism that it's all about suppressing your emotions and becoming a robot. That couldn't be further from the truth. The Stoics knew we all have gut reactions to things, a flash of anger, a pang of fear. These first movements are natural, and they're outside our control. The habit isn't to deny these feelings, but to use our uniquely human gift of reason to look at them before they completely take over. Seneca once described anger as a temporary madness. He argued that the harm we do to ourselves and others because of our own uncontrolled anger is almost always worse than whatever it was that set us off in the first place. So the Stoic habit is to pause before acting on a strong emotion and put it to the test. When you feel anger rising, ask yourself, Is this judgment actually accurate? Is this situation really as terrible as it feels right now? What would a rational, virtuous response look like? By asking these questions, you create a moment of calm reflection. You don't let the emotion drag you away. You might still feel the initial sting of an insult, but reason tells you that another person's words don't have to damage your character. This practice is about choosing not to surrender to your impulses. You don't repress the feeling, you reframe it. You use what George Washington, a huge admirer of Stoicism, called the calm light of mild philosophy to guide your actions. And by doing that, you keep your inner peace and avoid doing or saying things you'll end up regretting. This final habit might sound a little morbid at first, but the Stoics found it to be one of the most powerful sources of calm, clarity, and gratitude. It's the practice of memento mori, remember that you will die. The Stoics didn't dwell on death to create fear, but to create perspective. By calmly and regularly reflecting on the fact that our time is finite, the trivial little worries that eat up our attention start to fade away. Epictetus urged his students to keep the reality of death and exile before their eyes every day. Why? Because when you're keenly aware that your time is limited, you stop wasting it on things that just don't matter. That anger you feel over a petty argument, the anxiety about what someone thinks of you, the obsessive chase for status or stuff, all of it is put into its proper place when you view it against the backdrop of mortality. This practice reminds you to live with intention and to prioritize what's truly important: your character, your relationships, and your contribution to the world. As Seneca taught, we should prepare our minds as if we've come to the very end of life and postpone nothing. It's a paradox, but it's true. By remembering death, you learn how to truly live. So those are the 7 daily habits forged in the wisdom of the ancient Stoics to build a foundation of unshakable calm. To practice mindful awareness, to cultivate gratitude as a discipline, to focus on what you actually control, to see obstacles as opportunities, to reflect on your day, to use your reason to guide your emotions, and to remember your own mortality to gain perspective. Look, these aren't quick fixes. This is a daily practice, a lifelong commitment to mastering the world within. Some days you'll nail it, and some days you'll fall short. That's perfectly okay. The goal isn't perfection, it's progress. As Seneca reminded us, it's the journey of self-mastery that gives us the strength to face life's storms with courage, grace, and a quiet, unshakable calm. So which of these habits will you start practicing today? Let me know in the comments below. I really do read every single one. If this message resonated with you, please like the video and subscribe to join a community of people committed to living with wisdom and purpose. Thanks for watching.